Probably a flat belly. Does that also happen with Pilates?
Remember back in the day, women had a belly post-pregnancy, but
Yeah.
now you're seeing women with flat stomachs because they're keeping those muscles strong, and once the muscles are strong, they go back to the original shape.
And you yourself, I think you're what, about 50?
Yeah, I turn 50 next year.
She turns 50 next year. Can you even believe it? This is how she looks at 50.
So our oldest client is 88, and I want to say my daughter started Pilates when she was 9. When you're sitting, is your hip touching the back of the couch, but nowadays you see everyone sitting like
Yeah,
this.
and that's terrible.
You will understand the importance of seconds when you do Pilates. Yeah. Will you not get the burn? You will get the burn.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of That Healing Feeling with me, Neha Ranglani. And my guest for today is Anjali Chandiramani, who is a powerhouse in the fitness industry. She's an entrepreneur, a certified Pilates instructor, and a business leader. In 2019, she co-founded the Pilates Academy Dubai, driving its growth and global expansion while being an active trainer. She also has her own manufacturing line for Pilates equipments and has a Pilates Academy education line, as well as runs successful franchises in Dubai, Middle East, and India. Her story is one of passion, resilience, and innovation, reshaping the way people experience Pilates and fitness. Join me in welcoming Anjali Chandiramani. Welcome, Anjali, to my podcast. I am so happy to have you here today because I'm also very excited to chat up with you all about Pilates because it's such a fresh and a new topic for most of the people, as so many people haven't experienced what Pilates is all about. So thank you for being here and doing this for us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here. It was a great coincidence that I could make it in my quick visit to Mumbai. And it's really exciting to see Pilates pick up as fast as it is now in Mumbai and all over India as it is catching up with the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and you rightly said Pilates is becoming very popular now in India, and that wasn't the case till about some years back. And it's fairly a new form of workout. People obviously do a lot of strength training, there's a lot of gymming, weightlifting, yoga. India is a very yoga centric country. What is Pilates and how is it different from these other forms of workout? Please throw some light on everything about Pilates.
So I think it's funny that you said that because strength training and yoga, one is about building your muscle and yoga is more about stretching your muscles. Pilates is the most beautiful combination of both.
Okay.
That is truly what Pilates is about. While it strengthens your deeper rooted muscles and it makes you more stronger, it also helps in mobility and flexibility. So in simple words, we say strength and stretch.
Strength and stretch. Wow,
Yeah.
it's like a great way to remember it. Pilates equals to SS, which is strength and stretch.
Correct. Yeah.
Amazing. And we also, whatever little we hear about Pilates, we'll hear a lot about core strength.
Yeah.
That Pilates is more for the abs and for the core strengthening and for for probably a flat belly. Does that also happen with Pilates?
I don't want to say flat belly. No, you should. That isn't what you need to associate it with. Yes, core, I'd like to believe, because we need to understand that everything begins from the core.
Yeah.
That's really where we come up with this concept of core strength. If you have a strong core, your spine is working better, your lower back is a little bit more flexible, you are even connecting with all your body muscles better when your core is stronger. So which is why we say by core it means the deeper inner core muscles work better. And yes, also from a perspective of core as your belly can look flatter in a collateral gain, but core strength is actually your deep-rooted core muscles.
Yeah, and that absolutely helps you with just about every function in your life, right?
Absolutely.
Because you need to have a strong core for even walking and
Lifting your
just
child from the
lifting,
floor and carrying your shopping bags and all of those things. When we're talking about mobility and agility, it's purely movement, and that's what Pilates is about. It helps you move better for the rest of your life.
Right. So it's not just limited to core, right?
Definitely not. It's a full body workout, engaging every tiny muscle. And think about it this way: we have our bones, and then we have the muscles around it. So
Yeah.
imagine when those are stronger, our bones crack less, we have less injuries, which is when Joseph Pilates actually started Pilates. It was purely in the wartime, trying to heal the soldiers. So he actually put springs on beds for them to get stronger. And that was where it initially began, to help
Right.
with injury. But when we realized growing ahead that instead of using it for injury, we can help it to avoid injury, which is the real reason of when Pilates began. But because of the numerous number of exercises that come from it, we now not only prevent injuries, which is a fantastic reason to do it, but we also can get our vanity benefits, we can get our strength benefits, we can get our toning benefits. So it completely depends on your personalized workout of what are the actual goals you're looking to reach.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when you look at Pilates, I mean, I've seen a lot of forms of Pilates. It's confusing, sometimes there's Mat Pilates, there's Reformers. What are the forms of Pilates and how do you decide who needs to do what?
Well, the goals and benefits are goals are different for everyone, but benefits eventually remain the same. I love the equipment because Pilates Academy and my studio is one of the most equipped studios that you'd ever visit. So it's really fun to constantly mix it up. I really believe that you need to enjoy your workout. A workout should not be a punishment. I love working out, and I hope that everybody who eventually walks through that door of the Pilates studio, they end up enjoying and finding an equipment they like.
Yeah.
And then mixing it up is really nice for the body as well, because we're shocking them, we're constantly challenging. Monotony will take away from, the interest level as well. The innumerous number of exercises you can do on all the machines of Pilates, which means still today I'm doing something new.
But what about Mat Pilates? Sometimes you can't find all these equipments and, all the machines around you. Does Pilates still work on the mat? Like, can you still do it just with your own body?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what where we start from when we don't really have equipment, and equipment is expensive, so not everybody can afford that. So there are studios and gyms that are doing it at on the mat, and that's absolutely fine. Once you find that core connection, you can do it anywhere, to a point that whatever I learn in my Pilates reformer, I can extend that to all my other different forms of exercise. So whether I'm doing strength training, or you're doing yoga, or you're literally just going for a walk in the park, I know now how to switch on my core. And that switching on, engaging my glutes, keeping my back exactly aligned the way it should, sitting up tall, all these things is what I learned in the studio and extend it to the rest of my life. So yes, to answer your question, we can do Mat Pilates. I just love the equipment. Sorry, I'm a little biased, but I really do. And it's just so much more fun and entertaining. And I see the clients loving it, love trying different things on the different equipment. It obviously supports you, it helps you. So if you have the option, try all the different pieces of equipment.
Absolutely. So it's just above and beyond just doing your crunches and sit-ups, basically. Pilates is not just crunches and sit-ups, right?
I'm going to take you to a class, and then you will know that we won't do enough crunches and sit-ups for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. And what about Pilates just being like a standalone form of workout? Or does it need to be clubbed with something else? Does it give you all the benefits of every kind of workout? How does it work?
I mean, Neha, we literally just said that it helps you with strength and stretch. So, when you do a lot of strength training, it's important to stretch your muscles. And that's why people who do strength do yoga. And when you're hypermobile or you're overstretching, that's actually not great for you, which is why yoga people who are especially hypermobile people are advised to do strength to tighten those muscles. So imagine you get exactly the benefits of both in one piece of equipment or one room where you're doing Pilates. So when you're doing Pilates, you actually don't need absolutely anything else. Your workout can be completely customized to what you need. So for example, if you're very stiff and you need to mobilize your body, then you can focus more on opening your body. If you're looking to tone up and strengthen, that can be done just as well on the reformer. So yes, absolutely. To answer your question, you don't need anything else when you are doing Pilates.
What about cardio?
Well, cardio is a completely different perspective. So then that is actually trying to burn calories, you're trying to be agile, you're trying to move more. For movement, it's great. It's not like we can't do cardio. We actually have cardio Pilates as well.
Oh, is it?
So we have like a trampoline version of Pilates. We put a jump board in front of our reformer and we jump on the reformer. So you can do cardio as well. We have a trampoline version of Pilates where you're burning calories as well. And then, of course, it's lovely to go for a walk and to move and all of those things. People who do sports understand the importance of Pilates, because while they're doing that mindless workout, which is what we call sports, you come into the reformer room and you do a Pilates workout, which is your mindful workout, to make sure you support your mindless workout with your strength training.
That's amazing. I didn't know you have something as
Yeah.
a cardio Pilates, because Pilates is a slow form of workout, and you feel it's okay, like you said, stretching and strengthening. Probably that's the vision and perception you have
Correct.
about Pilates, but cardio Pilates is something that
Absolutely.
I am learning for the first time.
I mean, I think that it's very less discovered, all the different equipment. And like I said, it is expensive. So not many studios can afford all the pieces of equipment. I started teaching my career on this thing called Motor, which was one of my favorite from back in the day. Now I can teach mostly everything. But yeah, when I started the Motor, I used to do a very high impact class where you could really burn a lot of calories. So people who came for my Motor class did it 5 to 6 days a week. They didn't need to do anything else, because like I said, you're burning calories, you're doing your strength, you're doing your mobility. So pretty much everything is happening in that room. You don't need to go to a gym to do strength. You don't need to go into a yoga room to stretch. You're doing everything in that 1 hour.
And what about pregnant women? Is it like a safe form of workout for pregnant women?
I mean, it's beyond fantastic for pre and postnatal, just because we're so particular about the spine and the core when we're doing Pilates. That is really, like we said, the core workout. So when you're pregnant, you want a strong core, which helps you in your delivery. So most women really do Pilates, even if they're not doing it, which is unfortunate that they come specifically for prenatal. They should be actually doing it throughout, but they come during their pregnancy, because their doctors are now recommending Pilates as a great form of workout during pregnancy and postnatal, because once you've had that baby, again, your muscles become a little damaged and weak, and you want to strengthen them again. So remember, back in the day, women had a belly post-pregnancy, but now you're seeing women with flat stomachs because they're keeping those muscles strong, and once the muscles are strong, they go back to the original shape.
Awesome. So if I have to reiterate what you said, women who are planning pregnancy should start doing Pilates before pregnancy, continue through the pregnancy, and then also do it post-pregnancy. That will help them maintain their abdominal muscles and the strength that one loses with pregnancy and delivery. And that's how they will then be able to maintain a flatter belly, because most women who deliver are struggling with that paunch, right?
Absolutely. Well, women should start today. And then whenever they plan their pregnancy, they should continue doing Pilates, to be honest. There is no particular time to start. I mean, once you decide that you want to move, this is one of the most fantastic ways to move.
So women, I'm hoping that you guys are making notes of whatever Anjali is sharing, because she's spilling all the secrets of how to have a great body. And you yourself, I think you're what, about 50?
Yeah, I turn 50 next year.
She turns 50 next year. Can you even believe it? This is how she looks at 50. And we always think age is just normal and it happens to all of us, and losing your muscles and losing your charm and your strong body with age is just a normal thing. But when we look at people like you, it's a testament that no, one doesn't have to age that ways. You can age gracefully, strongly, and beautifully, just the way you are doing.
I mean, strength is everything. And I think I'm really happy to see how now women are understanding the importance of strength workout. And wherever you decide to do it, it is so important to look young, to feel fit, to feel strong, whether it's going for a run with my daughter, or, going to the gym with my son. There is absolutely no strength workout that I'm afraid afraid of anymore thanks to Pilates. It's really kept me in shape. And again, when we this probably takes us to a point where we talk about men in strength training, because men believe that you need to do excessive strength training to look a certain way. But now even they're starting to understand the importance of Pilates, and you can segue right into that conversation why men are finally opening up to the importance of Pilates. And you know what's unfortunate, Neha, is that back in the day, men would do Pilates only when they were either getting older or injured.
Yeah.
Those were the two reasons. And I have a lot of male clients, to be honest, of
Really?
private. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, our studio in Dubai has a men's only class, which is filled with men of all ages. And it's amazing how we take that. But for me, I do a lot of privates, but I do have to admit that they're slightly older, because it's when they're older and your back starts kind of catching up with you, or your knee starts hurting, or your joints are starting to bother you, is when you start realizing the importance of Pilates.
Yeah.
And what would be amazing is if we started younger, and then we wouldn't be in that position where all the pains and aches are catching up with us. So now
Absolutely.
people are starting to understand, especially athletes, the importance they give to Pilates is huge. They're starting to understand that they can actually not be injured on the field if they do Pilates. So a lot of
Right.
celebrity athletes now do Pilates and take that more seriously, even at younger ages.
You know, like you rightly said, men love strength training and they focus on gymming more. And these are the men who believe in fitness.
Yeah.
Let apart the men who absolutely don't move and don't believe in fitness. We're talking about the,
Yes.
you know, the men who really
Enthusiasts.
enjoy,
Yeah.
who enjoy fitness, who are fitness enthusiasts. They believe in gymming because they
Correct.
feel that's going to help them with their muscle hypertrophy. And you're saying that Pilates helps with the same.
Yes.
Because the gymming part also eventually leads to injuries if not done in the right way, you know, and they're just overloading and, you know, just it's like go, do, train hard. These are the kind of statements we hear in the gym.
Correct.
That's the mentality of the
Correct.
gym. And we don't realize that probably that's putting a lot of load on our muscles, on our joints, and maybe our body is not ready to handle that kind of a load.
Correct.
So you think these men can have the same effect of hypertrophy and muscle building and maintain the muscle while doing Pilates, minusing the injuries?
It depends on their goals. So when you're really looking to grow your muscles tremendously, I don't say you shouldn't go to the gym. I'm saying that if you do Pilates whilst you go to the gym, especially for men who are looking for size, it helps with the spine and it keeps you super secure whilst you do your strength training. So that's the benefit that I would say most men are ignoring, because when we're younger, we assume we're agile, we can move and we're fine, and then one bad deadlift and boom, you see these people now coming into the Pilates room and saying that, oh, I've injured myself, I can't do strength anymore and I need Pilates. But imagine if I kept doing Pilates along with my strength training, keeping that spine strong, keeping the muscles around the spine strong enough that if I do a stupid move in the gym, God forsake, some terrible movement in the gym, I'm now able to not break or damage my spine. That is the beauty of it. So if you want to continue doing what you're doing, whether it's play a sport till an older age, or whether you want to lift heavy or go crazy, or you need that adrenaline, great. But try to walk through that Pilates door at least twice a week to be able to support you through all the craziness that you're
Awesome.
addicted to.
I think you put it really well, because that gives so much clarity
Yeah.
on then planning your fitness regime and
Absolutely.
how you can go about with your daily workout routine, because
Yeah.
you know, if you're doing this, you're sort of taking care of your muscles and you're
Absolutely.
preventing injury while achieving your fitness goals.
Absolutely.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
Okay, Anjali, tell me about Pilates for elderly men and women who obviously have lost out on the time in the young days because they didn't do the Pilates, and now
Right.
their muscles are weak and, you know, the body's aching and there's a lot of like pains and aches happening.
Yeah.
Is it a good time for them to start Pilates so that they can have sort of a pain-free life or a better life, whatever of their life is remaining?
So our oldest client in Banja, and we were just discussing that yesterday with Sarah, is 88.
88.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I want to say my daughter started Pilates when she was 9.
Okay.
So that gives you a range of ages of people who can do Pilates.
Amazing.
So there is no wrong time to start. at any age is great. It doesn't matter how old you are. The earlier you start, obviously, the better benefits you prevail. So I was having this joke with one of my franchisees where I said we should go the Sephora way. And what does that mean? Sephora is now targeting younger girls. They're telling them to start using face packs and moisturizers and creams on their very, very young skin. And it honestly may not be great for them, but I don't want to get into that. What I'm trying to say is that let's go their way and try to teach younger kids and girls and boys to start doing Pilates and benefit from them at an earlier age, which is so much nicer because the earlier we start, and just the way they sell it, the earlier you start, the longer you have the benefit. So if you hadn't had the opportunity to start very early in your life and you want to start later, I would recommend to obviously start with a private trainer, not jump into a group class. Don't be ambitious when you're slightly older, because we want to make sure that we address any injuries, aches, pains that you might have. And this could not be a better way to to walk the path of recovery, still getting stronger and agile and mobilizing in all ways possible. But if you're feeling strong and you're young and you don't have any issues, jump straight into a group class and see what it feels like to really get the calories burning, get the strength training in, get the mobility and all of those benefits. Yeah.
That's interesting because, the kids today are anyway so sedentary.
Yeah.
And childhood obesity is really on the rise,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, kids don't realize they may look thin and slim, but they are increasing their visceral fat, which the mothers are not even aware of.
Movement.
Just movement in general.
Imagine, us as kids, and my mom used to say to me back in the day when she was a kid that she moved a lot more than us. And now I see my kids, from cars to phones to video games, the movement has just reduced so much. And, I love that my daughter plays sports and she's into so many different kinds of sports. And it's amazing for me that she makes sure she does her Pilates class. So I tell her it doesn't matter if you don't do strength training or you don't do yoga. Just go and make sure you do Pilates twice a week. It will make sure you play your football better, your netball better. You'll just be so much better on the field.
How many times in a week would you recommend kids to do Pilates?
It completely depends on what else you're doing. So if you have a really busy sports schedule, hypothetically, then even 2 times a week is great because you're making sure you're addressing that part of your strength training. And, when they're young, they're not looking to build biceps and triceps and all of that. They're looking to work their core. They're looking to mobilize their body. They're looking to make sure the smaller muscles are well developed. So when they go on a field and they run and they fall, they get up fast and they move quicker. Agility. All of those things is what you want your child to have. So imagine if they did Pilates at that age, how much more agile they would be, considering that they already have that reflex of moving forward faster. But if they added Pilates to it, it would be amazing.
Yeah, and I think it's even more important for kids who are not moving. Say the kids are not playing any sports.
So imagine they're not doing anything at all. So movement basically is the importance of movement is when I move, oxygen goes into that muscle and it starts to pump in. So when I'm putting oxygen into my muscles, the muscles are now getting warmer and they're getting active. So imagine the ones that do nothing and have absolutely no activation of any muscles, which is why they start getting sore. You hear young kids these days having back issues because their posture is horrible. They don't sit straight. Their shoulders are drooping because they're always on a mobile phone. There's no openness in their body at all. Yeah. Imagine if 4 times a week they focused on just fixing their posture. I mean, it's a simple exercise that I tell my kids to do when you're sitting is your hip touching the back of the couch. But nowadays you see everyone sitting like this.
Yeah, and that's terrible.
I mean, that's literally resetting your spine to doing something it's not naturally supposed to do. Yeah. So imagine if we just teach them to position their spine correctly, how much healthier they would be moving forward.
Yeah, and your spine gives you a lot of energy. Like your spine is like the pillar of your body. Absolutely. And a healthy spine equals to a healthy body life. And a healthy mind. Absolutely. That's amazing. Also, I want to touch upon obesity and Pilates because a lot of people who are overweight consider Pilates as a very slow form of workout. And they may feel that, if I do Pilates, it may not help me with my weight loss goals. So have you seen any cases where people have lost a lot of pounds or inches after doing Pilates and achieved their weight loss goals probably?
Well, weight loss eventually is mostly connected to what you eat. And you know that better than anybody else. So it is important to eat in your deficit to
Yeah.
lose weight. What Pilates will help do is strengthen you and support you. So in a larger frame of things, yes, it will help you lose weight, but the way that it does that is by increasing your muscle mass, isometric movements, connection. So we actually teach you to connect to every muscle that you are moving. So there's a mindless workout when we're just going to the gym and imagine if I just do this, am I really working my biceps? I'm not. There is a way of actually connecting to that muscle, switching it on. So when you actually move your arms, your biceps switch on.
Right.
I have that same thing. I recently, I want to say very few years back, found my core connection. It wasn't there for the longest time, and I was doing crunches, but I did not connect to my core. Now that I have that core connection, I know how to switch my glutes on, my core on. I do better in every movement, and isometric movements helps in the burn. It helps in fat loss as well in a longer scheme of things, but eventually you need to include that in the bigger picture, which is
Right.
eating clean as well.
Yeah. So when you're saying that these muscles get activated isometrically, then you don't have to put in too much effort to lift more heavier, because then you get results faster of hypertrophy and just in general of muscle strengthening and building.
Absolutely. And the more muscular we are, as much as women fear it, I'm very muscular. I hope I don't look scary to any of you.
Not at
the
all.
more muscular we are, the more calories we are burning sitting down straight. So actually just having more muscle in your body is going to benefit you in so many ways. You sag less, you look more toned, you look more presentable, you're much more agile, you're much more mobile, you're moving around better. All of those benefits are happening in a Pilates room, because while we are building the muscle, we're making sure you look toned, lean, and still agile and mobile.
So less effort and better results.
It's always good amount of effort.
Or maybe less of, the madness of lifting heavy and going,
Yes, I have to agree with that. The adrenaline rush that most Indians are addicted to, I feel like that's something you may not get in a Pilates room. Will you not get the burn? You will get the burn. So when you say less effort, no, you're going to die in that room as well, but in a very different form. You really connect with the muscles, switch them on, help them grow, and that's a different kind of benefit you will receive.
No, I totally agree to what you said, because I did a class with you and Chloe in Dubai, and oh boy, it was really something, because you don't.
And you're a fit person. You work and move all the time, and yet you understand how different yet difficult it is.
Yeah, because like you said, activating those tiny muscles which you've never connected to, I think they take a lot out of you when you're trying to connect to them. So
and you see people scream in that room too. It's just a different kind of. I mean, it looks so easy from the exterior. So you'll have people say, "Oh my God, are they really like working out?" Yes, and they're burning, and they're dying a little bit, and they're getting fitter as well.
Yeah, totally. Also, what about the mind-body connection that we talk about in yoga? Yoga gives a lot of breath, mind, body connection.
Yeah.
Does Pilates also have a similar mind, body connection? And do you also focus a lot on breath with every movement? And does it have the similar sort of an effect like yoga has? Because yoga gives you that Zen-like feeling once you're done with the class. Does Pilates do the same?
I feel like yoga has a more spiritual side. And that's what I love about yoga. It's beautiful because you really connect internally as well. Pilates has much more benefits when you're talking about strength and connection to muscle, because it's more a resistance workout, so you're actually adding weights to it as well. So in that sense, there is much more muscle connection in Pilates. As far as breath is concerned, yes, breath is super important in Pilates as well. We always really do focus on a lot of breathing. It helps connect and send oxygen to the muscles as well. So connection-wise, I say we're a little bit better.
Oh, okay. And what about contraindications? Is Pilates like something that some sect of people need to be cautious about?
There's absolutely nobody who cannot do Pilates. We just have to make sure that you're with the right teacher, the right trainer, and the movements are correct for you.
Okay. Anjali, since you've been into this field for now how many years?
10.
10 years. Wow. So what are your top 3 tips that you would give to someone who's just about starting their Pilates journey?
A mindset to work out. I think that it's really important for everybody to be open-minded to movement. And that's one thing that I think is important, to be open-minded. Because like I said, it's not an adrenaline rush. You may not be sweating and, you know, may not be huffing and puffing and panting, but the results are insane. So for sure, just be open-minded. And nothing can be achieved without consistency. So yeah, just to do it as often as you can, repeatedly. I remember having a client come through a door once and said, "How many days is good?" And I said, "How many do you do right now?" Anything more than that is good. So if you're doing 2, try 3. If you're doing 3, try 5. But if you're doing 0, then even 1 is okay. The idea is to get moving.
Right. Do you also recommend taking a rest day? Say someone's doing Pilates 5 or 6 days a week, 1 day of rest, just like any other workout?
Yes, I mean, I think all of us need that for mental and physical benefits. I think that some days you just need your mind to feel that it's not doing the routine. So rest has just a lot of benefits.
Okay. And what if someone just has about, say, 5 to 10 minutes or say 15 minutes a day and they want to do something to activate their core and just get the benefits of some Pilates movements? What are the movements that you would recommend?
Plank.
Okay.
Stay in a plank.
The elbow one?
15, I don't know if you can, as many minutes as you can, because plank not only will work your core and your lower back, but then eventually, again, isometric movement works beautifully with your arms, legs, biceps, triceps, shoulders, glutes. You're working everything in a plank. So let's see how long. If you have a very short time, plank.
Okay. That's just one movement?
That will cover everything.
Awesome. Okay. And so you just mentioned that you're turning 50 next year. And I'm so impressed with the way you maintained yourself at 50, because very few Indian women look like the way you do at 50. And I think you are an inspiration in that way. So tell me, what does your fitness regime or routine look like? What do you do every day to keep yourself this fit?
I mean, I have to say that I do address my gut, and it had all started when we went back to vanity when we were growing up. I was not far from a cliche where I was a chubby kid, and I had to be careful and, you know, control my calories, and I tried everything in the traditional sense of being to the gym and doing road runs and everything. But eventually now I've kind of nailed it of what my body works with when it comes to food. So I eat clean. And I do Pilates 6 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just Pilates?
That's it, just Pilates. I believe I work my strength, I work my muscles, I mobilize my body beautifully, so I feel very, very flexible. My posture is great. I feel aligned and very centered. So it's the perfect workout for me.
And what about weightlifting and stuff? Do you also add that in your regime somewhere, or is it just through Pilates?
Through Pilates.
Okay. And how many hours of Pilates do you do every day?
I don't recommend more than 55 minutes. That's plenty,
it.
actually. One full, proper... it won't feel like that's it when you're actually dying.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you have
Every
done a class
minute and
with us.
every second
Absolutely.
feels like it's...
So there's actually a statement which says you will understand the importance of seconds when you do Pilates. So, yeah.
Yeah. I completely agree with that, because I remember when Chloe kept, instructing us and guiding us through the class, and I was like, oh my God, can she just tell us to keep the legs down, because I just can't hold it anymore.
Absolutely. So every second feels like minutes in Pilates.
Yeah. Yeah, I've experienced that. Anjali, you're also a fitness entrepreneur with your Pilates Academy studios now spreading like fire all across the globe. You started with Dubai.
I did.
And now you have how many centers in Dubai, in Mumbai?
We actually now are over 10.
Over 10.
Yeah.
And how many in Dubai? And
So actually, I partnered with my dear friend, Chloe Somadosi. She's Italian. We do this together. She started in Italy, that's where she's from, and then to New York. And then when she brought it to Dubai, we became partners there. We're now franchising all over Dubai, Middle East, and we have 4 in Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad coming up. So yeah, we're growing.
That's amazing. So what is your studio all about? And what are the kind of machines and equipments you have? And how is your studio different from the other Pilates studios? Because there are a lot of them popping up now.
Yes. Well, we believe that we're rooted by tradition but inspired by innovation. we go with that theory and value where our ethos is about keeping the true essence of Pilates really intact. And Chloe and me really believe in that. That's truly our ethos. So we don't believe in only reformer rooms, as most Pilates studios are today. They only teach your trainer how to teach the reformer, and that's it. We always, every studio, well, our Dubai studio has every possible equipment you can imagine. But in India, we have at least more than one equipment. So you'll always see a chair, or there'll always be a combo Cadillac for a private class. We'll definitely have the reformers. The fuse ladders do extremely well in India, so we have a bunch of them in many of our studios. So we'll always make sure that you get an experience beyond the reformer.
Right. And does your reformers also work as in tangent with physiotherapy? Because physiotherapy helps to strengthen your muscles, right?
Yes.
Do reformers also do the same thing? If somebody comes to you with a lower back pain, or say shoulder pain, or something that has to do with some sort of pain in the body, do your reformers also give you like exercises that can strengthen those like physiotherapy does?
With or without the reformer, that's possible. Most physiotherapists recommend Pilates as the next step post physiotherapy to continue to maintain whatever benefits you've had with physiotherapy. And hence, it's not an ending process when you do Pilates. It's never ending because it's actually protecting you from future injuries.
Right.
So whether you're doing it on the reformer or the fuse ladder or the chair or the Cadillac, we have combo Cadillacs in all our studios that give you the benefit of the reformer and Cadillac. They can all benefit you in that way.
Okay, so say if someone has pain, they can go to a physio, get it diagnosed and sorted with a few exercises and maybe needling and whatever the physiotherapist does, and then maintain it with Pilates.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's amazing. And tell me, as an entrepreneur, you must have had your fair share of challenges that you may have faced while growing this brand.
How much time do you have?
I can go on and on. I have the entire day. Please share.
Well, challenges, the list is just innumerable, to be really honest with you. But one that comes off on the top of my head was when we were opening Mumbai, which is our Bandra, which is our first studio in Mumbai, and we had all our studios in Dubai back in the day. We realized that the equipment line that we were supporting in our studio was way too expensive to work in the India price range, because obviously the business plan looks different, etc. So that challenge was really pulling us back when opening the studio, and the franchisee was not happy to spend that kind of equipment, that kind of money on equipment. So what we did then was to come up with our own line of equipment, which was just something we're so super proud of. So now as Pilates Academy, we have every piece of equipment of Pilates that we self-manufactured, designed by the trainers and Chloe themselves, put together, drawn by a Pilates artist in Italy, and manufactured for us for all our studios.
And I've seen those equipments. And I also mentioned that to you in Dubai when I met you last month, that your equipments are very different. They don't look like those normal reformers that we see in other studios. And also the color that you have used, that light gray color, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, when you enter the studio, there's such a zen feeling, and it's so calming and soothing. It's not intimidating in any way that, oh my God, I have to get on that. And, because you always anticipate pain and discomfort with these kind of machines when you see them. But it's really nice.
Metal tends to kind of feel very gymmy. A lot of Pilates equipment have a lot of metal in it. We did very wood, we did off-white and gray, and there's a softness. Once you get on it, the pain is not that soft, but
at least the perception
when
of
you're
the
walking
pain.
in and out, you'll feel nice. So there is a certain serenity that we truly believe in. That ethos is something that we've brought into India, and we're really proud of it. We're loving to see all the studios doing exceptionally well. They're very open, they're very airy, there are maximum windows. So Chloe and me have a criteria when we say that what you must have when you're opening Pilates Academy: windows. That's pretty much it. Our things that we don't do without is windows and plants. We have a lot of greenery in all our studios. We make sure that, there's a nice feeling, there's lots of oxygen. It's a little sanctuary away from the buzzing world of Mumbai, for sure.
Yeah. No, your studios are gorgeous. I've seen one at Juhu, I've seen the Dubai one, and I absolutely love the way you guys aesthetically do it up, and your complete your perception about how you want people to perceive your studio. I think that really stands out evidently. And what about your franchisees? You're like you have a franchisee model that people
Correct.
can then approach you and start your own Pilates
Yes.
Academy in different cities?
Well, like I mentioned, we franchise. We also do education. So we are one of the largest educators with our own manuals and books, etc., in the Asian area. So we are Pilates Academy is a great place for you to get your education in. It's internationally recognized as well. So we make the trainers. So for our franchises, we make sure that we have your equipment sorted, we have your trainers sorted, we have our ethos that we share with you, we have our app for the booking system, etc. So we pretty much share everything end-to-end solution with Pilates with people who are interested to get into that field. So we give you a little bit handheld support compared to somebody who might find it a little intimidating to open their own studio.
Wow. And if somebody just wants to learn Pilates and be a trainer, do you just
Absolutely.
have that facility as well where they can just become a trainer in your academy?
Absolutely. And it's not just in Dubai anymore. We do that in Mumbai as well. So we are making trainers every few months as we speak.
And do you also give them job opportunities, if any?
For sure. As soon as we educate them, there's always a studio coming up or opening up. Now I'm looking for my upcoming studios. One is in Hyderabad, one is in Mumbai. That we're adding a fourth one in Mumbai, actually. So we're constantly keeping our eyes open to hire a new trainer. So who better than the ones we educate?
No, that's amazing because there are a lot of people out there who are seeking to get into the fitness field and start their career, and that could be a great opening for them.
And this is a great niche career, to be really honest with you, Neha, because how many gyms are just having trainers lined up?
Yeah.
I mean, a gym trainer is so dime a dozen now that it's really nice to find a niche that works for you,
Yeah.
whether male or female. We train both of them, and we actually get a demand from both pretty consistently.
Great. And also, when you train these trainers, do they have the facility to go to someone's home and train them personally, like just how physiotherapists do? Like they could take private classes for their clients?
Well, most trainers that we train, especially when Chloe comes down, she does all the equipment training in India as well. They are equipment certified also. So when you're talking about mat training, that can be done at home.
Yeah.
But some trainers set up their own little studio where they have even one reformer where they do privates.
Yeah.
And if they're looking to work in a group scenario, then there are so many studios now ready
Yeah.
to hire them, especially with a certification like that.
That's really amazing, and good luck to you for
you.
your Pilates Academy journey. And I hope you see more and more success because you're doing such great work.
Thank you so much.
In this
Thank you.
space.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
So before we move on to the next segment, I want to quickly give a shout out to our very generous sponsors, Urban Platter, for powering this season of That Healing Feeling with me, Neha Ranglani. So with that, we come to our next segment, which is the myth and fact. So I'm going to share a statement with you and you're going to tell me whether it's a myth or a fact.
Okay.
And you can bust the myth as well.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to be flexible to do Pilates.
Myth, of course. You will improve your flexibility in the Pilates room.
Okay. Pilates is the same as yoga.
I mean, we clearly discussed that that's a myth. I mean, Pilates helps with strength and stretch, which is not what you do in a yoga room.
Yes. You need special equipments to do Pilates.
Myth. You can start as simple as on a mat.
Okay. Pilates is just for rehabilitation.
Complete myth. I mean, everyone at any stage can do Pilates, as young as 8, as old as 88.
Okay. Pilates will help you to lose weight.
Pilates can support you to lose weight. It won't help you lose weight. So, myth again.
Okay. Pilates is only about slow, controlled movements.
Myth. Like I said, we do cardio Pilates now. We jump on cardio reformer. Yeah.
One Pilates session is enough to see results.
Fact. You can actually start feeling a change in your posture and your spine and your shoulders from the first session itself.
That is so cool. Pilates is great for people with back pain.
True. Absolutely. Your spine feels amazing after Pilates. So, yeah.
Pilates is too slow to be a good workout.
Myth, of course.
You need to do it once to feel it and experience it.
Yeah.
You can learn Pilates from YouTube without an instructor.
Oh my God. Don't do any exercises like that. Not just Pilates, no, complete myth.
Okay, that was so cool. Okay, now we move on to the next segment, which is the rapid fire. Let's make it fun and rapid.
Wasn't I supposed to be prepared for this?
No, that was a surprise. That's why.
Okay.
All right. What's your go-to pre-workout snack?
What's my go-to pre-workout snack? Yogurt.
Okay. Morning workout or evening workout?
Morning.
Okay. One piece of fitness equipment you can't live without.
Reformer.
Has to be, clearly. A song that gets you pumped for a workout.
Wow. I'll have to say I steal my daughter's playlist.
Okay. Coffee or green tea before a workout?
Green tea.
Favorite cheat meal?
You mean treat meal?
Yeah.
Pizza.
Okay. If you could teach Pilates anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh, wow. Spain.
Yeah?
I don't know. I've been recently stalking some Spain studios and they look so gorgeous.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So maybe that's your next
Franchise.
franchisee or whatever.
Absolutely. The world is the oyster.
Yeah. A book that changed your life.
Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural.
Okay. If you could drink one beverage for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Sparkling water.
Okay. And what's your dream destination?
I'm going to Mexico next one, so let me
Oh my
say
God.
that's the one.
Tulum?
No, Cabo.
Okay. It's on my bucket list
Yeah,
as well.
of course. So yeah, I'm a
Mexico
traveler
looks-
like that. Yeah.
Looks amazing. Let's do a retreat together.
We
there.
have to. So let's take that out after this recording. Let's do
Yes.
a retreat together.
Thank you so much,
It's
Anjali.
my pleasure. It was so fun talking to you.
It was such a pleasure and such a delight chatting with you, and
Likewise,
your
Neha.
fresh perspective about Pilates and everything that you shared was just fabulous. And I'm sure the audience is going to take back a lot from whatever you've
I hope
shared.
so.
And thank you for being here.
We're looking forward to seeing you at all the Mumbai studios very soon.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm happy we did a workout together in Dubai.
Yes.
And it's always lovely to meet you. Happy we're friends now. And let's talk about that retreat after we finish this.
Absolutely.
All right.
We will.
Thank
but
you. Thank
before
you
you
for-
go, I have something small for you.
Oh, thank you.
So that's a small
Oh, wow.
goodie hamper by Urban Platter.
Oh, how
And these
lovely.
are all things healthy. So I'm hoping you and your family will enjoy them.
It looks amazing. Thank you
Yes.
so much. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end of this episode. And I'm sure you've learned a lot about Pilates just the way I did with Anjali, because she had some real insightful tips and information to share about Pilates. And if you found this episode useful, you know what you have to do. Subscribe to my channel so that you get notified for more such amazing episodes that we come up with, and also share it with your friends and family who may benefit with this information. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Neha Ranglani Shorts and Neha Ranglani Clips, where we put up bite-sized videos for you to learn more about health in simple ways. Thank you so much for showering all the love that you do. Stay tuned and keep watching this space for more such amazing episodes that we have lined up for you. See you soon.